Cloakroom, Dissolution Wave, album review, let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spinning here, and I chat about this latest album from Cloakroom, Indiana-based band that ever since their Infinity EP a while back have been blending the sounds of modern shoegaze, but blending in some elements of emo, noise rock, even sludge metal and doom metal. Even post-hardcore and space rock have found their way into the music of Cloakroom, but for a while, man, I really was not feeling it. Their Infinity EP, I was not vibing on it. Like, it was fine, but nothing about it gripped me for a second listen. And their full-length debut, Further Out, didn't do much better. It was listenable at the end of the day, but nothing about this album really gripped me. Nothing about it really excited me. Ironically, it was some of the weirder and more far-out moments on the album that really gripped me. I thought that was the real direction for Cloakroom to go in. Now, it did take me a while, but I did eventually really click with their sound around the 2017 album that they put out, Time Well. This was easily their most noisy and dynamic release to date, and it wasn't a close margin either. Most importantly, the performances here were just not deadpan. They actually progressed seemingly. It was a really solid project overall. Now, it's been a long time since we've heard from Cloakroom, but I've been super impressed with these singles, even though I kind of felt like I needed to hear the full project to get my full taste of this sound from Cloakroom, and I think this album might just be their best. This album starts off with Lost Meaning. It's a big, crunchy intro. I love the monolithic riff here that we get, and the melodic vocals that we get are a nice touch too. You know, so much of Cloakroom's early stuff was just so stiff, so bland, a little too one note, but this actually has a lot of really great elements to it, like that guitar solo. That is awesome. If you're a fan of modern bands that blend shoegaze with other genres such as modern emo and noise rock, like Nothing or Teenage Wrist or Slow Crush, you're gonna want to hear this. And it's just melodic enough to really stick with you, even through the walls of reverb. It's also pretty noisy and chaotic, especially towards the end. This is a fantastic intro. I feel like Cloakroom have finally come full circle, especially for me and my taste. We also have this album's title track, Dissolution Wave. This is shoegaze by the books. This is some old shoegaze, meaning whether you're more of a My Bloody Valentine person or a Belly fan or a Slow Dive fan, whatever it may be, whether you're a Ride fan, it all kind of comes through on this track. Love the lapping rhythms. I love the kaleidoscopic production here. It's got so many bright colors on display as well. And you know what? It's not as crunchy as the intro to this album, and it's not as catchy either. But for a sort of dreamier, spacier sound from Cloakroom, this is certainly good. It's really nice, it's really sweet, it's really dreamy. It just shows such a great appreciation for shoegaze. The force at play is pretty sharp as well. I've liked this single for a while now. I mean, this is Cloakroom by the books, between the sort of psychedelic rhythms, the hazy riffs, the airy vocals. And you know what? I don't think it's the best track here, but it's a really solid single. Dottie back Thrash, on the other hand, is where I like hearing Cloakroom the best. It is grittier. It is a little rough around the edges. This is gnarly, man, between that roaring production and all that glorious feedback we're getting. But it also has this very important human aspect to it that they've worked with for a really long time. Like I said, their music does kind of play off emo tropes. But then the second half of this track, we get this very expansive, very glistening, progressive passage that's very spacey. It's really moments like this that just put this so far ahead of what Cloakroom was doing for a while. And Fear of Being Fixed is the heaviest track here. Like I said earlier, Cloakroom have always sort of had this weird ties to sludge metal and doom metal. It's weird, but it's on display here and it works. I mean, they're still the same band at the end of the day, but I can't help but notice just how incredibly depressive and tortured they sound here. Screw the colorful half of this album that we've been dealing with. This is so dimly lit, it's not even funny. That's not a bad thing though, and I really love the organic instrumentation that we're getting under these walls of reverb. Now, truth be told, this album is a little top heavy, and some of the bad tracks that we get towards the tail end of this album bring me right back to their early material where I was struggling to get through a Cloakroom album. Take, for example, Lamb Spring. This track is just not my cup of tea between the dull pacing and these heartless vocals. This reminds me way too much of like their Infinity EP. I don't want to be that guy who said this is too airy for me, but on this album's title track, they proved they could do that a whole lot more interesting than this. It's also one of the longer tracks here, and it is not really that interesting. And Doubts is even worse. I think it's the worst track here. The songwriting here is... it's pathetic, sadly. It's drawn out, it's uninteresting, it's freaking boring. Like, all of my kind of lukewarm thoughts on their early material, it's all on display right here. But then we get Dissembler as a finale here, and this is the wild, rowdy, crunchy, gritty finale that I didn't know that I wanted. It almost has this weird blackened rock and roll feel to it. Between the gritty guitar playing and the haunting vocals, this track is awesome. At the end of the day, this is by far Cloakroom's best project, I think, but I think it goes further than that. This is just a really likable, expansive, and risk-taking rock album that pays off. And the final 2 minutes we get here, the more, upbeat and melodic melodies that we get on this track and its final moments, it's just nice. This is just a really enjoyable, likable rock album. I'm feeling a light 8 on this bad boy, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.